Congratulations on the win, Brad. Last week you spoke about getting off to a better start. Was that the case in play today?
Yeah, I mean, we're always hoping to get off to a good start. I mean, we put a lot of things in place, and that's been a pretty good part of the game for us so far this year. And we kicked the first goal of the game last week too. But to Port's credit, they bounced back pretty quickly. But yeah, tonight was in a hostile environment. It's always good to get off to a good start, and it was certainly, we couldn't kick away. It was very competitive through the whole game. So it was a matter of sometimes those really tight results come down to very small things, and we've been on the end of some close losses over the last few years, so it was good to have one fall on our side.
And just the form of Mason, well, not just at the end, obviously, but through the game, it's obviously quite a strong recall to first grade. Just your thoughts about his performance tonight, please.
Yeah, I thought he was clearly the dominant forward on the ground. He's a terrific athlete, so he works up and down the ground. It wasn't just his work in the forward half either. He got up and gave us a way out of our defence at times, and took some really strong marks when we needed him to. And look, we've wanted to obviously get him back in our side for a while, but he's had a few niggling injuries. But he also had some things that we wanted him to work on. And to his credit, because he's obviously a very capable player, and when you have players that clearly have the capability to play good AFL footy, they can sometimes not quite understand when the coaching staff want them to go back and work on some things to get it up to the level that we want it. But to his credit, he did that, and I think he's a more complete footballer for it.
Can you give us any insight into what you did ask him to work on?
Oh, look, it's just all facets of the game. I mean, you guys saw tonight what he's able to do offensively, but we wanted to work on rounding out his game a little bit. And one of the reasons we're very, very keen to have Jared Waite around this year was to help work with our young key forwards, and Wadey's certainly done that with Mason, and with Wadey out tonight, Macy filled the breach beautifully.
Was that a game changer for Mason? He changed the game tonight. Was that a game changer for him in his career?
Yeah, look, the challenges just keep on coming, because I think he's played about 27-ish games of AFL footy, and he's played 6 or 7 really good ones like that. But the challenge for a forward is consistency, and the really top line forwards in the competition find ways to contribute even when they're not dominating on the scoreboard. And I think Ben Brown's been able to do that for us this year, even when he's not dominating and kicking 6 or 7 goals, he's able to contribute in other ways. So that's Mason's next challenge.
What about Sean Higgins' game tonight, Brad?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, after the well-documented concussion 2 weeks ago, he wasn't right to play last week, and we wouldn't have played him irrespective of any concussion test, just given the severity of the incident. But I've said before, I think he's as professional a footballer as I've seen in my time in the game, and you just know with guys like that they're, once they declare themselves fit to play, they're going to come back in and compete, and he certainly adds a different dimension to our midfield.
What does a win like this do for the belief of the group, particularly going into obviously another big game next week against Richmond?
Yeah, I think it validates some of the hard work, but it certainly, it's what are we, round 7, so there's a lot of footy to be played, and we're going to play some really good opponents. But I mean, there's been a lot of change in our team over a 2-year period. So with that change comes potentially some fluctuations, but I haven't seen a fluctuation in our effort this year. So that's what we're trying to base our game around. And there are a lot of things, offensively, defensively, in and around the contest that we always work on. But none of that matters if you don't have the required level of effort.
Another bloke that returned tonight, Brad, was Sam Wright. Nearly 2 years out of the game. What did you think of his performance tonight? Yeah,
fitted back in seamlessly with our defence. Robbie Tarrant, Scott Thompson as the cornerstones of our defence. We're very, very happy to have Sam back. He's a steady influence. He's a genuine competitor. And I think tonight probably the Wright and Jacobs, who haven't played footy for 2 years, and Paul Ahern was our travelling emergency today. 2 guys who have been out, or 3 guys who have been out for a long period of time. It's just fantastic to see them get some reward for their persistence.
Can I get your opinion, Brad, on the score review system where it's that Billy Hartung kicked that goal in the first quarter? The umpires didn't go to the score review, and I mean, the replay, it looked like maybe McVeigh had touched it. I'm not sure if he did or not. But what's your opinion there on how best to use?
Yeah, they review every goal.
They review every goal.
Yep, they review every goal before the ball bounces for the next centre bounce. Yeah. So I'd be staggered if they didn't look at it.
What's your opinion on that goal? I mean, did you get to see the replay of that?
Yeah, I was about, I think, 250 metres away. And I didn't look at the review. I mean, we don't. I can't control it, so we just move on to the next thing that we're looking at. We don't get caught up looking at replays and becoming third and fourth umpires.
Is young Vickers Willis okay? He hit that post pretty hard later on.
Yeah, I don't think he's okay. He's on crutches as just to take the weight off his leg. But we're just going to have to wait and see. But it was significant enough for the doctors to tell me straight away that he wouldn't come back on. So. When you hear that, you think that there's, hopefully it's just a really solid contusion.
Is it a posterior cruciate type of thing because of that sort of collision with the post?
Yeah, they usually occur knee on knee or knee into the turf. So it certainly, to my amateur surgeon's eye, it had that look about it.
Everybody else put up all right there, Brad?
Yep, all good.
Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Thanks very much, Brad.